Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to today's Daf Yomi Yevamos Nun Beis. We are holding right on top, actually, a couple of lines left, a couple of words left on Nun Aleph and Beis on the bottom. Keitzad Asa Mamar V'chulu. Okay, getting back to the Mishnah, which started off with a machlokes between Rabbi Gamliel and the Chachamim pertaining to duplicating a process. Rabbi Gamliel says you can't duplicate, you can't do get to one Yevama and follow that by another get with another Yevama. Get is get, that's it, it's done. The power of get has been used up. Same with a double mamar. You can't apply a mamar after another mamar. Chachamim disagree. Okay, that's the first item in the Mishnah. And then the Mishnah continues to describe varietization. You varietize. You do a mamar and then a get, or get and then a mamar. And what is the proper approach throughout all those cases? Keitzad Asr mamar. He did a mamar followed by something else, a get, etc. And it sounds like the Keitzad and the illustrations going forward is actually relating back to the first item in the Mishnah where he duplicated. Hai get achar getu? Is this an illustration? Are we trying to demonstrate a get followed by a get, which was the first item in the Mishnah? We're actually not doing that. We're going on to different cases. Mamar followed by a get. We're alternating between different processes. We're not duplicating. Yeah, says the Gemara, you're right. We're actually not going back to that first item where it was a perfect duplication. No. Amar Yehuda Amar, the Mishnah means like this. That first topic of discussion, get achar get, or umamar achar mamar, kedamaran. That can be illustrated as we learned yesterday in a brisa, Nun Aleph Amud Aleph, how that works out. That's not what we're going to discuss. Right? You have two Yevamos and you do a get to one and get to the other. That's been discussed in Nun Aleph in a different brisa. We're not going into that right now. Rather, when the Mishnah continues with the words Keitzad Asa Mamar, we're switching tracks. We're going over to Yavam Echad V'Yevama Achas Keitzad Hat Mitzvahs Hatarasan. If you have one Yavam with one Yevama, you're not trying to duplicate anything. It would be impossible. The one Yavam can't do a get and another get to the same Yevama. Actually, we're switching tracks. We're going to try to varietize. We're going to speak about two different types of processes that were applied. The mamar followed by a get, etc. How does that work? How do we address that? So mamar bivimta v'nasn laget. So it's richa him and a chalitza. We need a chalitza to address her zika. V'chulu, so on and so forth. And the Mishnah goes on to a case where it is asa mamar u'ba'al. So he did the mamar, which is sort of a kiddushin done to a yevama, which according to most shitas is only midrabanan because it's reminiscent of bia and therefore it's treated as such. So he did a sort of a kiddushin, a mamar, and then proceeded with bila. Harezu k'mitzvah. So that's the appropriate process. That's the ideal. That's the optimal way of doing yibum. First you mekadesher, and then you live with her as married. Leima mesayeh leila Rav Huna. It would seem to be a support to Rav Huna, the Amar Rav Huna, mitzvah Yevama. What's the ideal way of approaching Yevama is Milkadesh, first Kiddushin, Vachkach Boyal, and then afterwards Yibum. Is the Mishnah actually supporting that Shita? Not necessarily. Ema, we can say, Avzek mitzvahs. Don't have to do it that way, but if you do it in this manner, it's also acceptable. Well, Pshita, of course, why not? If Yibum on its own works, why would I think that if he preceded the Yibum with a Kedushin, it should not work? Why would it not work? There's a reason for it. You know why? There would be room to think, since we learned back in the Chavtes, if one applies Mamar to his Yivama, something does happen. It slightly changes her status. And we treated to some extent as though the zika of Yibum sort of dissipated. V'chala olav zikas arusin nesuin, and going forward we treat her almost like a regular isha who is engaged and gets married. He chose to take a conventional route with the Yevami, the Kiddushin, which isn't something necessary for Yevama. The Gemara there speaks pertaining to the need to have a chuppah, etc. So we see that perhaps Mamar does disrupt the Zika of Yivam. A Malav mitzvah ka'avet, perhaps if he goes and does a Mamar first, he's going to disrupt the mitzvah, and it's no longer a mitzvah Yibum, or at least interferes somewhat with the mitzvah. Kamashmon, the Chiddush is no. Even if he does a Mamar followed by a Bia, it's perfectly fine. Gufa, let's go back to Amar of Huna, which is mitzvah Yibam, and what's the ideal way of doing Yibam? Mekadesh v'achach Bayal, first Kiddush, and then followed by Bayal. Baal v'asar Mamar Kana, if he reversed it, first Baal and then Ma'amar, he is Kaina. Asks the Gemara, isn't that Pashut? In Baal v'asar Mamar, Pshita, the Hokanya b'Bia, he already did Bia, it's over. The Yibum, the Kinyan, is done. Why would I think that the Mamar that follows the Bia can disrupt it? What's the point of mentioning this? Ella Ema, rather he meant like this. In Baal beloy Ma'amar Kana, although according to Rav Huna, you're meant to start with Ma'amar and follow with Baal. But if you fail to do the Ma'amar before the Baal, you're also Kaina. So although it's not recommended according to Rav Huna, ideally it should be Ma'amar followed by Baal. But even if he leaves out the Ma'amar, he's Kaina. Batanya. Is that so? But listen to this brisa which says Loike Makas Mardus. Like it, Atanya like it. Stop. Brisa says he gets Malchus. If he's Baal without Mamar, and Malchus typically means Minat Torah, which sounds like he was over an Isser. And you're telling me it's fine, he's Kaina? Answers the Gemara, no! Like it doesn't mean Minat Torah. He wasn't over Isser Minat Torah, rather Malchus Mardus. Rabbanon are going to give him Malchus, lashes. Mardus, Rashi says, Ridui, to set him straight. As a punishment. It's midrabbanon. Why? What's wrong with this fellow? What did he do wrong? He did the Yibum. Answer is, don't jump into it right away. Do it in a respectable, dignified manner. The Rav would give makis midrabbanon in the following many cases. Cases where individuals acted inappropriately. Manda Makadesh B'Bia. If one approaches an Isha and initiates his Kedushin through Bia, although we know that an Isha can be acquired through Keser Shtaro Bia, it's inappropriate. You don't start off your relationship like that. Umanda Makadesh B'Shuka, or if one chooses to apply Kedushin somewhere in the street, even with Kesef or Shtar, it's Zilzil, it's Pritza, says Rashi. Umanda Makadesh B'Shiducha, he does Kedushin without, a pre-arrangement. It just goes straight into Kedushin without prior discussion and deliberation. Umandam avatal gita. Likewise, if a person issues a get and then he runs to some Edom or Bezna and he nullifies the get, nobody knows about it, and his wife is going to go get married, and there's going to be mamzerim. Totally inappropriate, not a place. Umandam masar meida gita. Or if a person makes a pre-declaration before he gives a get, he walks over to some Edom and he says, look, I'm going to be forced to give a get. I am right now declaring that the upcoming get is null and void. Null and void. He's causing a great pitfall, great mirshal, because they'll assume the get is valid and his wife will marry and it's going to be mamzer. So he gets makas mardus. Uman de pakir shlicha de rabban, a person who acts disrespectfully to a shliach of the rabbanon, or shliach of bezdin. Uman de shoy shamta de rabbanon leit lasen yoimen. V'loy asile beidina v'tabel shamta, a fellow who's been placed in cherem. It's already 30 days. V'loy asile beidina, he fails to come to the bezdin v'tabel shamta to have his cherem removed. He's showing total disregard and disrespect for the power and the honor of the bezdin. And finally, Valchasna de doir bevechamui, he would give malchus to a son-in-law who resides in the home of his mother-in-law. The Gemara Kedushin says that there's a special affection between mother-in-law and son-in-law. Therefore, it's a risky situation. It says the Gemara the doir in will only concern that person residing in that situation. The chalef, but if he just passes by his mother-in-law's home, that doesn't pose any concern. Vahu, there was this fellow, the Chalev above the Vechamui. He just passed by the doorway, the home of his mother-in-law. V'nagdei Rav Sheshes, and he got malchus from Rav Sheshes. Receiving that poses a concern. Oh, that's an exception. Who, in that case, Meidam Havadayim Michamse, that fellow was Chashud, says Rashi. Meidam Havadayim Michamse, they were already involved in some inappropriate behavior, and there was a chashad, there was a strong suspicion that any further interaction might lead to inappropriate behavior, and therefore he was meant to keep far, far away. Nahardoi Amri, they disagree. They say, look, shorten the list. Bikulu loiman gid Rav. In all these cases, Rav would not apply malchus. Only in certain extreme cases. Ella, only l'makadash b'bia u'beloy shiduchi. If one does kiddushin through bia, plus there was no shidduch there. There was no prearrangement there. So that's a double deficiency, and therefore over there it was considered true pritzes. So some say that according to Nardoi, malchus would be applied by kiddushin b'bia even with prearrangement, because once again it's grossly inappropriate. Okay, Tana Rabban. Keitzad mamar. We speak about mamar applied to a yevama. How do you go about doing mamar? Nosin l'kesef, eshav kesef. Very simple. He gives her money or something worth a pruta, and he tells her. Rashi says, he tells her, look, I want to be Makadosh you through Mamar of Yibam. Ubishtar Ketzad. Suppose he chooses to use a shtar for Kiddushin. In this case, how do you do it? Bishtar Ketzad, what do you mean how? Kedamar, as we just explained, meaning just as Kesef, used for Mamar, would follow ordinary Kiddushin guidelines, likewise, we assume that if he chooses to use a shtar, it would also follow the same track as a regular shtar kiddushin, which we discussed in the kiddushin, how to do it. Kedamoran kasav la'alar niyar, he takes a piece of paper and writes on it, or elacheres on a piece of pottery. Even though it's not worth anything, he can write on this item and say hareyat mekudeshes li. He records these words, and that's a shtar kiddushin. So what do you mean? What do you mean keitzad? We know how a shtar kiddushin works. Amar Abaye Amar, he meant like this: shtar ksubas yivam keitzad. How does the yavam compose a shtar ksuva when he does yivam? What type of text is recorded on that shtar? Kasavla, he writes to her like this: Ano pleni bar pleni, myself, Ruvain ben Getzel, kivilis yas ploinis yivimti alai. I am now being makabel on myself. I'm accepting upon myself. I'm committing myself to support this yivam, a lozan, to feed her, lafarnas, a karoi, to support her properly. Ubavad with one exception. Shetek suvasa al nixi bala rishon. If it should come to that point that she needs her ksuba money upon getting divorced or upon getting widowed, what does she collect from? Her former husband's estate. Right? The Gemara back in the test, Rashi brings it here. The Gemara explains, Isha hiknu lo min hashamayim. Keep in mind, it's not his choice, it's not his personal wife. He's taking over the Isha that Hashem gives him min hashamayim. It's his obligation to look after his brother's family. So at least that, he gets that break. Ksuva comes from his brother's estate. Let's say there's no estate there. To Kinilam Rabbanah Mesheni, Chacham, of course, obligated the next husband to supply the ksuba money. Why? Kedei shaloite kalab einav. It shouldn't be light in his eyes. Okay, just get rid of her. No. Proper relationship in the Torah. A Torah true relationship is based on commitment, is rooted in responsibility, looking after the other person. That's a proper relationship, that's a proper marriage. We don't want just in and out. It needs to be a monetary commitment, an achrayus of mammon to solidify that marriage. So either she collects from Ruvain, or if there's nothing available, Shimon is now responsible for the ksuba payout. So we discussed mamar by Yevama. What about get? Which, as we learned a couple of days ago, Chacham will misaken, since get is too similar to chalitza, get also has an effect and would disqualify the Yevama from Yibum if issued by the Yavam. Boy minei abai merabba. Nosen lo get. So Yavam issues a get to the Yavam. V'amar, he says, look, he's playing games. V'amar harei at megureshes many. Listen to this deal. You are megurish from me. Well, we're separating. But I don't want you to marry anybody else. You're this kind-hearted fellow. V'yat moteres l'chaladim. You can't marry anybody else. Now, how do we treat this get? You see, typically, such a get doesn't really work. It's not a get. It disqualifies it from marrying a kohen. To that extent, we treat it like a get, but it's not really a proper get. What about get to a yevama, which is really, it's only derabbanan because it resembles chalitza. How do we treat this type of get? Does it have to be similar to a regular get, or even this type of flimsy get needs to be reckoned with? Says the Gemara, get yevama derabbanan hu. We know that a get given to yevama is only derabbanan. So let's think. Do we say get the mahani beishas ish, mahani b'yevama, only a proper get which is considered valid pertaining to an ordinary ishas ish, only that type of get works by yevama and disqualifies it from yivam. But get the mahani beishas ish, a get which is useless when it comes to an ordinary ishas ish, such as this one, loy mahani b'yevama, has no value by yevama as well. That's one side of the equation. Or perhaps you can say, the whole point is that it might lead to confusion. Well, here also it might lead to the next yevama ignoring the get given to her, even when it was a proper get. So, which way is it? Amalei, Rabbi responds, yeah, that's a valid concern. Even this type of flimsy get needs to be reckoned with, because it might lead to us ignoring a get given to a different yevama, where that get is a proper get, and we might ignore it as well. So therefore we say, look, any get given to a yevama has to be reckoned with. How could you say that? Anything which resembles a get, suppose he gives her just a blank piece of paper, Chanami the pasla, you're going to say she's pasla for yibam because it looks like a get? Amarle, he says no. Big difference. A blank piece of paper given to a regular ishes ish does not have any effect on her. She's not a grusha to any extent. She can marry a kohen later on. Has no value. So of course, by a yivama as well. Keep in mind, a get given with this type of stipulation, we're separated, but you can't marry somebody else. It has some effect with respect to her ability to go marry a kohen. She's considered a grusha to that extent. The sanya, v'isha grusha me'isha, an isha who's divorced from her husband, of course from her husband. What's the extra word me'isha? Lo yikachu, don't, a kohen can't marry. What is me'isha? To tell you, afilu le'nisgash ela me'isha. Even if she's only separated from her husband. The gershon was just meant for that. It was not meant to allow her to go marry somebody else. So this type of ket that we're speaking about, lo yikachu, a kohen cannot marry this isha. She's considered tainted with respect to a kohen. Vainu reich haget. Shepoisel b'kuhuna. This is the lashon reich haget that we discussed in Gittin. It smells of a get. It has some get elements within it. It's enough to be poisel for kuhuna. Since it has some weight, some value, somewhere in the Torah, when it's given to a yevama, we have to reckon with it. Amar Rabbi Bar, here comes another shaila. Get related shaila. Hari Amru. You see, Chachamim tell us, Amar Echad L'Lavzer. This fellow approaches his local sefer, and he says, look, K'soiv get la Rusasi. I'm engaged to Rachel, write a get for her. Not to give it now, but likish ekon sena egar shena. See what this fellow's plotting? I'm making a get now with a plan to use it after I marry her. I want to marry her and then divorce her. Haray's a get. The get is valid, meaning if he's going to use it later, it works. Why? In fact, it's even now, in a state of erusin, not to be confused with today's engagement. It means a real kedushin, erusin with a kesav or a star. She is technically an eshes ish. Today we do it together. The erusin and the suan we do right under the chuppah, 10 minutes apart. So it's after the erusin, before the suan. he wants to separate, he needs a get. So in his current state of affairs, this get is something useful, something which has potential use. Therefore, you can write it now, even though he only plans on using it later after he marries her. As opposed to Uli Isha Ba'am Ein Get. You can't do the same with an ordinary Isha, an Isha who he had not yet married. You can't say, look, I'm going to write a get for Rachel to use it after I marry her and divorce her. He was not yet Mekadesh her. He has no relationship with her. You can't make a get for that Isha. Because it's not within his ability to do gerushin to this Isha. So you can't write a get directed at an Isha who he can't be Megarish. Right? Common sense. Here comes a shayla. What about writing a get directed as Yevamos? So Rachel falls liyibam. Shimon the Yavam had not yet done anything. Nothing. All we have is a zika. She's bound to him. She's tied to him. Zika sibam. Can he write a get al manas to use it later on? Shall we say kivan da'agida be, since she's bound to him? She's his zivama. Karusasa damya, we treat it like an arusa, in which case get has room. There's room for get. There's some sort of bond here that the get can be written, that the get can relate to, even though it's going to be used later. Or perhaps since all we have is the zika, there was no actual kiddushin or mamar done, so the get can't relate to anything. The way Tosfos learns the Gemara, he's going to write the get now. Do mamar and use this get after mamar. Can it work? Can it remove the mamar? Shall we say, well, even before mamar, there is an agida, there's a connection, and therefore the get can relate to that story? Or shall we say, no, it's still pre-mamar, there's no actual, tangible kiddushin done, and therefore there's no room for get in the get at this point is worthless. Take it, we leave it, we let it stand, we have no conclusion. Boy Rav Chananya, here comes question number 3 regarding a get to Yevamos. Kosav get lezikosay, v'lo lamamar. Listen to this lamdan. He's a Yavam, and he did mamar. He's past mamar. He writes a get, but he stipulates, look, this is the get pertaining to her zika. It's directed at the zika siyibum, not pertaining to the mamar. It's not going to be directed at what I did, or the other way around. Lemamar v'lo zekosay. Mao. He says, look, this get is directed at the mamar that I did with her, but not pertaining to the ikar zika. How do we treat this get? Shall we say, mamar ilui zika karami? How does mamar work in the first place? It builds on top of the zika. The Yevamos falls, she's zakuk, and chachamim mesaken, that mamar can be applied. Mamar has an effect. It means that the mamar solidifies, it reinforces the zika. And therefore, when he goes and writes a get and says, look, the get is only directed against the mamar, not against the zika, or against the zika, not the mamar, he's pretty much addressing only half the isha. Mamar and zika now bundled together, enwrapped with each other. Okay? There's no separation. They both feed off each other and reinforce each other. It's as though he's divorcing half an isha. It doesn't work. It's worthless. Or shall we say, the zika stands alone. The mamar stands independently alone. There are two separate factors here, and the get can address one, not the other. So that's an interesting shaila. Does the get work in this case or not? Asks the Gemara, what's the shaila? Of course, each one stands independent. V'tifshalei mid Rav. Why can't you be right from Rav, who tells us, Dama Rav, Nosan get l'mamaroi, hutrutz arasa. You remember, back in Daf Lamed Beis, in that very difficult parak, Arba Achen, we had a Mishnah there with 3 brothers. Right? Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. Reuven passes on. Rachel falls to Shimon, who does mamar with Rachel. He has his own wife as well. And then Shimon passes on. Levi is faced with Rachel and Leah. Rabbanan tell us, so Rachel can't have Yibam because she has Zika Shnei Yevam, and she's coming from 2 brothers. She's Reuven's widow and really also Shimon's widow because of that mamar that she had with Shimon. But, says Rava, let's say Shimon, after doing mamar to Rachel, issues a get. By doing so, he removes the effect of the mamar. He deletes the mamar. Nasan get l'mamari, hutrutz arasa. In that case, we ignore the mamar. It's as though there was no mamar done. And the tzara is mutter. The Gemara has a whole Rashi. The Gemara there has a whole sugi explaining why only the tzara becomes mutter. Okay, it's a long discussion, but bottom line is we see from that sugi that by Shimon applying a get to simply address the mamar that he did, that is sufficient. That removes his mamar, and now she goes back to where she was to begin with. The zika from the fact that Reuven passed away, she's coming from Reuven, and we allow her, we consider her a Yevama. We remove the mamar aspect, and the zika is still standing. So clearly the zika and the mamar are unrelated, unconnected. Each one is considered, an independent entity. So what's the shaila over here? This fellow gave a get, directed at the mamar, not at the zika, or the other. Of course it works. Each one is a totally independent entity. So I think, well, you're right. The Rava pshitale. It's clear that Rava had a clarity in this. According to Rava, each thing stands independently. The Rav Chanina mebayle. However, Rav Chanina was unsure, and therefore he asked our shaila. Rav Chanani mebayle. Mai, what's the halacha in our case? Teiku, we leave it unresolved. Continues the Gemara, Cholatz v'asa mamar. So going back to the Mishnah. This fellow did a chalitza, and then followed through with a mamar. So what does the Mishnah say? That the mamar has no value because ein acha chalitza klum. Right? Chalitza is the final word. You can't do Kedushin after Chalitza. Why? Because once she is a Chalutza, she's a Chayav Elavin. The Yavam can't interact with a Chalutza, it's a Lav. And therefore Kedushin, or let's call it Mamar, which is a form of Kedushin, does not take hold. Who's speaking? Who holds that Kedushin cannot be applied to a Chayav Elavin? That's Rabbi Kiva. Amar of Yehuda Amar Rav. Zu, Divi Rabbi Kiva. This is Rabbi Kiva speaking. The Amar, ein Kedushin toifsin mechayav elavin. Kedushin has no hold, has no effect in a chayav elavin situation. Avol chachamim, but remember there's a chachamim who disagree with Rabbi Kiva. They hold the eish acha chalitza klum, even after chalitza mamar will take effect because they hold that Kedushin is toifes by chayav elavin. Asks the Gemara, how can you say this? How can you say we're following Rabbi Kiva? How can you establish this Mishnah in accordance with Shittas Rabbi Kiva? Look back at the Reish of the Mishnah, where we learned Nasan get V'asa mamar. He applied a get to the Yevama and then followed with mamar. What does the Mishnah say? You have to address the mamar by giving a get, and then you have to do chalitza to address the zika, which is still there. Right? The zika seems to be still intact and unaffected by the get, even though the get really disqualifies her from yibum. Right? So again, he did a get and a mamar. Tzricha get v'chalitza. First, they get to remove the mamar, and then chalitza to address the zika, which is still standing. Rabbi Kiva. If it's Rabbi Kiva speaking, why would you need chalitza? There's no more zika. Once you do a get, she becomes asur liyibum. Zika's over. Kivan the yavla get. Mahani ba mamar. Once you do a get, why would mamar have any say in the matter? Well, Tanya, we have a brisa where Rabbi Kiva says, Rabbi Kiva Aymer Menayin Leisen Get Liyivimtai. Shenesru olav ilamis. How do we know that? By issuing a get to a Yevamos, she becomes Aser. No more Yivam. Shenemar lo yuchal bala harishin. Asher shilcha. This is actually a pasuk by a regular Isha. After a get, and she goes and remarries, you can't take her back. Asher shilcha, extra words. We learn from there, acha shiluach. That in some cases, one may not remarry even after simply divorcing. How can that be? That can't apply ordinarily. Rather, we're speaking about a Yevam, a unique situation. A Yavam divorces his Yevama with a get, no chalitza, a get. He can't take her back. Clearly, there's a lav. And if it's a lav, then mamar wouldn't work. So why does the Mishnah say that get followed by mamar, which is a form of kedushin, mamar has to be removed, revoked, because it's teifes. What do you mean? Kedushin is not teifes by a isha, a Yevama who had a get. She's a lav, chayav a lav. Amrav Ashi, it's not menat Torah. This concept that a get affects a Yevama. Of course, it's only with the Rabbanon. It doesn't make her chayav a lavin. Get the Yevama with the Rabbanon, as we explained, because it's similar to chalitza. Now, although we had a pasuk, ukra asmachta ba'alma. This pasuk is just a support and a smachta, sort of a remez to the din the Rabbanon. But of course, even after a get, she's still a Yevama. It's only a rabbinic disqualification. And therefore, even in this case, Kedushin can be teifes even according to Rekiva, and therefore you have to address that mamar done after the get, by way of a get. Another get after the mamar. Tani namiyachi. We're going to support this whole sugi with a brayse. Amar Rabbi, ein advar malolo amurim elal di Rabbi Kiva. This halach in the Mishnah, that chalitza has the final say. Chalitza closes the door. Mamar after chalitza is worthless. That's only Rabbi Kiva speaking. Shaya oisa chalutza ke'erva. He treated a chalutza who now becomes a chayav elavan like a regular erva, like a isha who has kares. Kedushin doesn't work. Aval chachamim aimrim. Chachamim disagree. They hold yesh achar chalitza klum. Even following chalitza, mamar can take hold, can take effect, because although she's aser, chalutza may not marry the yavam. It's a lav. Right, layivne, right? Kivin shabana shul, kivin shaloi bana shul layivne. The lav, right? Actually, layivne beis achim. But kedushin done afterwards is teifes, just like kedushin, which is teifes by any isha who's a chayav lav. So Rabbi Kiva says nothing doing. Chacham say kedushin is teifes. Here comes the third sheet. Vani oimer. This is Rebbe. My personal opinion is it depends. Classic Gemara. Yes, no, it depends. A Masai, when do we say that Kedushin is valid, even in this case? Bizman shekitcha l'shem ishus. If when he was Mekadosh the Isha, the Chalutza, he had in mind ordinary Kedushin. Rashi says, B'Kedushim Gemurim, v'loi b'mamar Yivam. The Vada Kedushin Teisim Chayav Elav. I'm reading from the Rashi on the left side. Right? He's doing a proper Kedushin, not a Mamar Yivam. In that case, of course, Kedushin is Teifes b'chayav elav and b'chalutz. Aval continues the Gemara. Kitchel l'shum Yevamos. When he's mekadosh the chalutza, he has in mind, I'm doing it to help my deceased brother. I'm doing it l'shem Yevamos. I want to continue his legacy. In that case, it's like a toes, says Rashi. Ein acha chalitza klum. It's already after. It's over. You lost your chance. Says Rashi on the left side, about 3-4 lines down. Aval kitchel l'shem Yevamos. Ein on kedushin. Doesn't count. Sharei ein kan sad yibum. Yibum is no longer an option. It's no longer on the table. V'havulu kedushay toes. It's a mistaken kedushin. Tanya Yidach, says the Gemara, we have another brayse which contains the same machlokes between Chachamim who say it works and Rabbi says well, it depends. After chalitza, he goes ahead and does kedushin v'chazer v'kitch. Rabbi Omer, depends. Im kitch l'shem ishus, then it's a proper kedushin. Tzricha menu get, you have to address the kedushin through a get. But l'shum yabmus, if he had yibum in mind, ain't tzricha menu get, that kedushin is a kedushin tos, and does not have to be revoked by way of a get. That she does Rabbi, right? Depends. The Chacham Einim, they disagree. They say in all cases it works. Ben shekitcha l'shum ishus, ben shekitcha l'shum yavmus. The kedushin takes hold, takes effect. Tzricha heimenu get. Okay, now how do we explain this machlekes? L'chayra, the Chachamim's time is a strong time. Look, it's a kedushin. What's the difference? What he had in mind? Amar Rabbi Yosef, my time in the Rabbi. How do we understand Rabbi? So the Gemara will go on to give us no less than 6 possible explanations to this machlekes. Most of it we'll do tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem. We'll get to, I think, 2 today. Amar Rabbi Yosef, my time with the Rebbe. How do we understand Rebbe's sheet? That if it's a L'shem Yavamos, it doesn't work. The fact is, he did a kedushin. As'ua ka'oider b'nichsi hager v'kasava shu shalayhin. This fellow is plowing his field, and it turns out that he's actually a bit over the boundary. He went into the next door neighbor's field, who happened to be a ger who passed away without any descendants, without any yershim. So it's effectively hefker, allowing anybody to come and acquire it. When he plowed the field, technically he did a kinyan, right? He did like a chazaka, but it was unbeknownst to him. He had no clue that he was over in the ger's territory. He thought he was sitting on his field and plowing. The loikani, there's no kinyan, it doesn't work. Because he had no das to make kinyan. Here as well. If he does kedusha yevama to a non-yevama, it's worthless. Amli abaye. How could you compare? Midami. Hasam leim kam mechavan lemikni. Sure, when he's plowing his field, he had no intention of being koine. He was trying to work his property. So of course he's not koine. Here he's trying to be mekadesh the isha. Be it as a regular isha, be it as he doesn't care why. He's trying to be mekadesh the isha. Haladamya, it must be compared to a different case, where it works. Let's compare it to the following case. He knows that this property belongs to a ger who passed away. He knows it's hefker, and he's trying to plow it and be koined. So he thought it belongs to Reuben the ger, because Savar Shager Acher. So he thought it belonged to a different ger, and it turns out it's this ger. So he had he misidentified the field. Right? He was Oider B'nich Seger Sev, because Savar Shager Acheru, the Kani. Of course, in that case, it works. The fact is, he's trying to make a kinyan, irrespective of whose field it used to be. So, although this fellow is trying to be Mekadesh the Isha based on the fact that she was a Yevama, he's trying to sort of continue his brother's life. Okay. So he's missing a fact. The fact is he's still trying to be kind to her. Elar Rabbi, that's not a good explanation. I'll give you the pshat in Rebbe. Hacha b'mayaskinan was speaking as follows. Kigoin the Amarla. He's gacheli b'mamar yivam. He clearly says, I want to do a mamar yibam. It's after chalitza. Zika is no longer here. That's the machlekes. Rabbi holds like this. Mamar iloy zika karami. This is similar to the Gemara we had on the top of the Amud. When the Chachamim introduced mamar by Yevama, it was done via the following route. The mamar reinforces the zika. There's already a pre-existing zika minater. The mamar comes and solidifies that. It makes the relationship and the bond stronger. That's the essence of mamar. That's how it works. But in this case, when she had chalitza, v'asoy chalitza, afkata l'zika. The zika removed the chalitza, revoked the zika, it dissolved the zika. So this fellow who's claiming to do mamar yevamin to a non-yevama, to a non-zakuka, it's worthless. There was never such a takana. There was never such a creature in the world. Therefore, it doesn't work. Rabbanan Sabri, they hold no. But Chacham introduced mamar into the world. It was done in the following manner. It wasn't meant to reinforce zika. No. It's a separate, unrelated procedure. Hailuchudei koi, the zika stands alone. Vailuchudei koi, the mamar stands alone. So miikara, initially, when she was really a yavama, before chalitza, ilu amarla, suppose he tells her, he's kachali b'mamar yavam. Here's Kedushay Mamar. Here's Kedushay Mamar Yevamos. Bila Mahani, doesn't it work? Meaning, it's unrelated to Zika. Mamar is has its own power. Hashta Nami Mahani. Here as well, even when her Zika really expired, she's after Chalitza. He can use the same term. He can follow the same process, apply the same type of Kiddushin / Mamar to be Mekadosh and Isha. This is also a way to do Kiddushin, and perhaps it would seem that it works even in Torah, because once he does that nusach and he follows that procedure, this is a form of Kiddushin. And it's Mekudeshes. Okay, so we have two pshatim in the Machlekes, Rebbe and the Rabbanon. Either it's a question of intent, and Rabbi Yosef didn't like that, Abai didn't like that. Abai's pshat is, he specifies, look, I'm doing a Mamar Yevamon. According to Rebbe, well, there's no Zika to work with. According to Rabbanon, Mamar Yevamon is unrelated to Zika. Okay, so what do we have today? So we have a Yevama. So he's going to do Mamar and then follow through with Yibum. According to everybody, it doesn't interfere. Mamar preceding the Yibum is not something that takes away, that detracts from the Yibum. In fact, Rav Huna holds that's the preferred way of doing it. In fact, the Gemara brings that Rav would give Malkus from Rabbanon. If one jumps right into Bia, it's totally inappropriate. First, you start with a Kedushin, with a Shidduch, and proceed to the next step. So ordinarily it would be Shidduchim to Kedushin. Over here, it seems from the Gemara that you would have to have the Mamar and then the Bia. How does one do Mamar to a Yevama? Either through Kesef or through a Shtar. Ksubas Yevama has a little bit of a different nusach than a regular Ksuba. In fact, the payout comes from her first husband's estate. We have 3 shilas regarding a get given to a Yevama. Look, this is your get to separate from me, but you're not mutter to anybody else. That still has an effect, although typically it's not a valid get, but it has some sort of value regarding a kohen. We treat it as a get regarding Yevama as well. He writes a get with the intent of using it after Mamar. Is this get a valid get? We have a shaila in the Gemara, Teku. What if he directs the get at her Zika, not at the Mamar, or at the Mamar, not the Zika? Well, according to Rava, each one stands independent of the other, and the get can be applied in this case. According to Rav Chananya, we leave it as a question mark. Okay, then we have the next shtickle here. So the Isha got Chalitza, she's now a Chalutza. Yavam cannot interact with her, there's a lav to that effect. What happens if he's Mekadosh right now? According to Rabbi Kiva, worthless. Kedushin is not Teifis B'chayav et Lavin. According to Chachamim, this type of Kedushin in this case, the Mamar, as the Gemara calls it, is Teifis and she needs a get. And according to Rebbe, well, it depends. If it's Kedushin L'Shem Ishus, it's considered a proper Kedushin, Tzricha Menu get. If it's the Shuv Yevamos, we ignore it. And so far we had 2 explanations, Be'ez Hashem, which will be followed by 4 more explanations tomorrow. See you then. Hatzlacha Rav, and all the best to you.